It said no.
I like that.
There we go. Yeah, this is a lot better.
Yeah, it's kind of groovy.
I would have had more time with it.
It's gonna be an interesting episode.
Well, starting with music like this, we got to be pretty chill though.
Yeah, we gotta be. Welcome to the Marauders.
Late night with the Marauders.
I can dig it.
I feel like we need like some beads or something hanging behind me or something though. That's the only thing. Hey, what's up, guys? We are the Marauders. Here every Thursday, 7:30. And let's introduce ourselves real quick. Start with you.
What's going on? I am Star Wars Stan, aka Ace Kennedy, and you know what I tell you every week: talk nerdy to me. Let's get it.
Talk nerdy to me. And I'm Darth Jader, the Imitator. It's not. we're not Vader, not quite.
Not yet.
But man, we were snapping. We've been snapping. Been snapping. Okay, so let's just get into this. The boys.
Oh my gosh! Please tell me you saw Sneezegate.
I cringed. I cried. I did not want to eat lasagna. That's
bro. I told y'all Sunday. I said, listen, if anybody has seen the first episode of the first season, right in the beginning, A-Train runs through old boy's girlfriend, blows her completely up,
just splatters everywhere.
That has nothing on Sneezegate.
No.
If you know, then you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sneezegate is definitely a new experience for me, and I'm glad that you had the same horror that I did so that you could experience that.
I mean, I still kind of hurt just thinking about
it. Facts. Oh man, that was that. I mean, so without spoiling anything, the first 3 episodes, man, what I really like about The Boys is it feels like it didn't cut off. Like it just feels the same. I like the character arcs that were going in for each character. But it feels really good. Like it feels like The Boys never left. And so that's always a good thing. It feels like the writing's consistent, the production is consistent, even though I'm sure they have a bigger budget, and but most of the budget just goes towards blood anyway. But no, it feels good though.
And I totally agree. There were several little surprises in there. Obviously, Sneezegate would be one. Then a reappearance we had in the first episode. See, I didn't watch the second or third one. I just watched the first one.
Yeah.
But that was enough for the time frame I had. So.
Yeah, definitely not one you can watch with the kids.
No, definitely don't. I wouldn't watch this with my 14-year-old son.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
It's brutal.
But I mean, it's The Boys though. And we've talked about the fact that this actually, I mean, I think this actually seems like more. If I thought superheroes were actually in the world, I feel like this would be more what we're seeing than the typical Superman or a Batman, where you have all these different superpowered people just destroying stuff, killing people right and left just because they can.
Just because they can. And yeah. I like that we actually have an explanation for why they're supers. So the whole thing feels more realistic, even though it's still over the top, but it feels more realistic that there's an actual explanation. So, and even in this season, they're taking it a step further with some new technology. So it's a great so far. I'm so excited for it. I'm glad they gave us 3 off the top, typically what they do. And it just really immerses you back into the world, which is, we talked about this earlier on pods. They were throwing stuff throughout the time that we were waiting for the new season. They kept doing these YouTube news clips of The Boys that were like further in the story. But you didn't have to watch them. But if you did, it just got you more and more excited for the season. So I'm really loving what they are doing with the boys. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and I definitely like the little snippets because, I mean, you almost when you watch it, it almost looks like a news story half the time, and you're like, oh, I don't. Why did the mod send this to me? And then I go, oh, it's actually the boys,
Yeah,
because it almost seems legit at the beginning of them.
right. Hey, question for you, bro. Have you finished Stranger Things yet?
I have not even started it yet.
Okay.
I have not.
Yeah, I see. I know a lot of people are really taking their time with it just because of the fact, like in July, we get I guess the second half of it. I did go ahead and finish it. Again, no spoilers. I think it's a great season. And to be honest, I was never really a super Stranger Things fan. Like I watched a couple episodes when it very first came out and put it down for probably a year. A matter of fact, I think I started watching it once season 2 was out. That's when I started from the beginning. So yeah, I wasn't really a fan like that. And then I just kind of made myself watch it and then begin to fall into it. And
Yeah,
so now I'm here. And like I said, I really enjoyed it. This season was really good. I thought what I think I like the most is how the characters are used. I think they have done a really good job of making sure the characters get shine. So that's pretty much my Stranger Things insight on what I saw.
right. And that's about the time frame. I think I started watching almost at the end of season 2,
Mhm.
and I loved it so much that I actually blazed through all of them
Yeah,
in like a few days. It was
facts.
just
Let's
one
say
right
that.
after the other. And so season 3 wasn't out at then, and I was just like, man, I'm just waiting for season 3 here. So, I mean, it's a good show. I like the darkness of it. We're getting a lot more dark like that. That's still. It doesn't have to be like super gory,
Right.
but I do like the boys that's being super gory. It just
Yeah.
I cringe up a little more than normal.
Yeah, I like the fact that we have stuff that's for adults because we are the generation that never grew up. Like, yes, we're adults, we do adult stuff, we hate adulting and all this other stuff, but we have things that still feel like our childhood, but as an adult form, stuff that
Right.
we can't let our kids see. So I think that's dope to have that type of content available. So yeah, I'm a big
For
fan
sure.
of this stuff.
Well, speaking of kind of the anti-hero stuff, how about we take a look at the Black Adam trailer
Yes,
and
let's
talk
take a
about
look at
that?
it. Cool.
I think that would be good.
Black Adam, what have your powers ever given to you?
Oh, he's little like Cap.
He does kind of that, yeah.
Nothing but heartache.
I always love Pierce
I was a
Brosnan.
slave until
I know
I
it.
died.
Wow.
Then I was reborn a god.
You know, I actually don't know much about Black Adam either.
I don't either. I've always seen like I don't know why they never get the idea that you shoot a guy.
Who shoots lightning? Who's lightning in him?
In this world, they're heroes.
That's Hawkmoon.
I have no clue. I don't know any of these characters, bro.
Heroes don't kill people.
Yeah, that's Hawkmoon.
Well, I do.
I feel like The Rock does a pretty good job of like picking out the parts that he knows that he can fit.
Yeah, and it's his facial expressions too. I mean, his face. I mean, obviously, that's what he did in wrestling. So
Yeah. Just need the eye curl.
Mhm.
I can't get the one side to do it. But
Did he just catch a rocket?
He got a rocket.
that looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good. Like I said, I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse to not know much about it. I think for me, though, again, it's one of those titles that I'm not necessarily excited to see. I think I'm more excited about The Rock than I am Black Adam.
Right. I think a part of that though is just because the DC problem with Shazam and him are kind of uh they're not total enemies, but they
Right.
definitely fight each other a lot.
Well, I here's the thing. I'm not a fan of Shazam. Like there was nothing wrong with it. I'm glad people enjoyed it, but it just wasn't for me. But this looks way darker. And like I said, I think I'm just because I'm a fan of The Rock, I'm gonna be invested.
I got you.
Because I know how invested he is. I mean, this movie was almost announced what 7-8 years ago, and we're just now getting the trailer now, and I still think it's not even coming out to 23. If I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
But so even with all that said, it's just like, yeah, I'm super excited about seeing The Rock play a superhero. I mean, the dude is chiseled and built like they needed no padding in his like that is straight just skin tight stuff because there's not an ounce of body fat on him.
Yeah, but he's used to getting the right shape for what he needs to do through, like you said, through his wrestling stuff.
I'm sure that he even had to slim down some because he's probably bigger than that. I've seen him bigger. Like, I don't
More
know.
muscly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely looks good though. I do want to see it. Speaking of DC, man, they kind of have Zaslav took over for Discovery Warner Discovery, whatever
Yeah.
they're calling it now.
Mm.
And so he's kind of axed a whole bunch of stuff, man. Like a whole bunch of things got axed. And so he's looking to finally put DC in a position to be like Marvel. He wants to have it as its own division. And I know right now, who's the dude that directed the Joker? Not Matt Reeves. I can't think of his name.
Yeah. I can tell you in a second. Keep going.
Okay. Well, anyway, they wanted him to be a consultant, and he's not like a comic book guy. I mean, even watching the Joker, he didn't really want the influence of a comic book guy. He just wanted to make a good movie, and he wanted to do it about the Joker, which was why it was supposed to be a one-off. But I think the budget for the Joker was like 40,000 $40 million.
Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips. So I think it cost 40 million to make, and they made over $1 billion. So yeah, that's how it got green.
It was a good movie.
Yes, it really was.
Nobody's had a Joker kind of like that, and we don't even know theoretically if he's the Joker. I guess right. There's that,
right. Or we don't know. We don't know how much of that story was real. That's what
right. We don't know if it was in his brain or if it was, but it was good stuff.
Yes, he played that part, bro.
Yeah.
And what I liked about it is because when we first saw the makeup and stuff, just same with Heath Ledger. When I saw the makeup, I was thinking like, this look kind of cheesy, but
we got there.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. And I was actually reading some of that. I don't know, it was a few days ago because they had announced they were going to do Joker 2 with Joaquin again. And they talked about right after he's killed the Today Show or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. He goes on the show, he kills the guy, and he goes in the back room, and he's supposed to actually just like look at himself in the mirror and just kind of chastise himself. But then he starts doing, they said that Joaquin actually just started dancing, and it just fit what they thought was going on,
right?
Like in his head, which is kind of cool. He seems to be the one that always does that kind of stuff, though. He's got an obscure mind on things,
right? And he kind of didn't want to do comic book stuff because he didn't want the commitment of doing them, which is why he was agreeing to do the one-off with Todd Phillips. So, but I mean, shoot, I'm sure they back in the Brinks truck up to his house and like, look, bro, we need you to get back into it one more time.
We got the cash. We got it this time.
Which is interesting because if he wants it to be in the DC universe, so to speak, we have a Joker for the Batman, which we know we have a part 2 for. So,
right.
Be interested to see.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. What do you want to go on to? Because I forgot.
We can go into Kenobi, bro. We might as well
I'm
just.
good with that. So, how did the episode hit you?
So from a 1 to 10 rating, with 10 being the best, I would say this episode is about a 6.5, 7. And let me explain that a little bit. The 6.5 to 7 is because I really did enjoy everything that I saw, but there are so many things that I cringed at from a story standpoint that it drops it all the way down to a 6.5 and 7. I love everything Star Wars gives us. I'm grateful for the fact that we have something new to watch with Star Wars, especially around information that we are kind of familiar with. But at the same token, with that comes the curse of me nitpicking everything because I am a Star Wars fan, which is interesting because I hate Star Wars fans to begin with, because Star Wars fans always want to know what's next, but then they don't want spoilers, because there's like things that are going on in this episode. It's like, well, wait, how come they didn't do this? Or I need to know if they're going to do this. I need to know if they're going to do that. But would freak out if somebody actually came out and said, okay, yeah, this is coming up next. You would be terrified. Like, so
Right.
6.5 to 7 to me. What about you, bro?
I probably would land about a 7 to 8. 8 is probably only because of what we see when we get the big reveal before he finds Leia. And I don't know if we're giving any spoilers or not.
Oh, no, we going full spoilers, bro.
Okay,
The
so
episode came out Wednesday.
Yeah, so when that, which was just yesterday.
Yeah.
So when those doors opened and he walks in, and the fright on his face after he sees all these Jedi Masters.
Yeah. Speaking of which, was it just me? Because I've been, I watch a bunch of after reaction videos of some of my favorite podcasters, and nobody has said
Vader alone.
Vader was in the show like 2 minutes.
More like the third episode.
Yeah.
Third.
So for me, right, when was it just me? Was that your boy on the right hand side?
No, I didn't see Plo Koon.
You should, I may
have to watch it again, but I didn't see Plo Koon.
I've watched it 3 times. When he goes in, look to the right hand side. It looks like Plo Koon, bro.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll go watch it again because I didn't see him.
Yeah, I know the guy that's on the left, the little guy. He's the one that gave Ahsoka her sabers, or helped her get her saber back. So
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of people are thinking that the girl that they showed, the one who had the surprise expression, that might be Ice Cube's son's wife. I forgot his name in the show. O'Shea Jackson, the dude who played the guy who he was like, look, my wife used to be she was.
Oh yes,
they're saying that might be his wife.
Okay. Now, and I didn't understand. Do we know why they have them kept like this? Because I mean they're dead.
So this is what I'm thinking. It's not in carbonite. It's in like a sap. Looks like a sap. Yeah. It's almost like they're trophies, right? Because if you remember in the first time we get into the Inquisitorium, I forgot what it is. The Inquisitorium. Let's call it that. In the background of where their seats are, you see the sabers of people that they've killed. So I'm thinking that those were just like tombs or trophies for them of people that they've killed. Some people are speculating that they have put them in that to preserve them. Some people might think that they are still alive. They're just kind of like in that state. Some people are thinking that maybe Palpatine is going to actually use their blood to. That's how we start.
That's what we're experimenting with their blood.
Yes.
I got you.
So maybe that state is just keeping them. occupied so that they can continue to do their research. It was an incredible scene. It was heartbreaking, but at the same time, it was one of those things that was like, bro, this is. But yeah, like I said, nobody else has said Plo Koon yet. But man, when you watch it again, just go to that scene and look to the right hand side. And of course, a lot of other people thought the guy a little bit further than him was a bald head dude, and they think it was Mace Windu, but the dude
don't
had
think
his
so.
hand. So yeah.
I don't think it was. Yeah.
Plus, the reason why people were saying that they don't think it was Plo Koon or Mace is because there's no way that Obi-Wan goes in there and sees them and not have a bigger reaction.
Right.
And then they said there was another guy in there that looked like who was the dude they just mentioned in episode 3? Quinlan Voss.
Yes.
And Quinlan Voss, I don't think it was him either, because it wouldn't make sense to have mentioned him for Obi-Wan to get that excited, but then see him and not react.
And not be, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Mace Windu or Plo Koon.
Yeah, those are like bigger Jedis, like people that have some connection or attachment to him. Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you, bro, the biggest thing that like completely, like I almost gagged watching the episode is because the whole time Leia has been protected, right? When Obi introduces himself, he says his name is Ben. He never gives last name. He only says Ben. Even when Tala was talking to him, she was kind of away, and she was like, Obi-Wan, whatever. He was like, no, I go by Ben these days. Like, and so since then, she's called him Ben.
Yeah.
Well, when Riva has her captured, she says Obi-Wan is dead. And then she says Kenobi is gone. She doesn't know who Kenobi or Obi-Wan is. That irked me so. Like, my thing is that they know that Star Wars fan picks this stuff apart, and they know what we already know is coming for the future. We know how the episode 4 thing happens. She's a kid, so there's a lot you can get away with. But to call him Obi-Wan and Kenobi when she doesn't know that person at all, that's why that was just like, how did that pass the writing when she only knows him as Ben? That irked me to no end. Like that.
Charles
no, I'm not reaching, bro. Not reaching at all. If you go back and watch episode 4, she says, Obi-Wan Kenobi, help me. You helped my dad in the Clone Wars, whoopty whoopty whoop. That's how she knows Obi-Wan Kenobi. She knows the dude that saved her right now is Ben. And this is how I'm not reaching. She remembered Ben so much, she named her son Ben. So no, I'm not reaching.
I don't know. I feel like as smart as she is, that there was some intuition there, if not overhearing something.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Her to know.
But she's never heard, though, Obi-Wan Kenobi, though. Like, at this point, she knows that he was a Jedi only because he had a saber, right? So there's nobody else has ever slipped up like that to really say, like, Ben. I mean, if somebody would have said, like, Ben, nobody's ever done that around her. You know what I'm saying? So she's never been really exposed or even know who an Obi-Wan Kenobi is. Because even when they were in the planet where she was going to save her, she only saw his picture. She was like, "Why is your picture on all of this stuff? You must be the one that they're looking for." She wasn't like, it says Obi-Wan Kenobi wanted or anything. She was like, she saw the picture of him. So again, that to me, like I said, because it says that, you know, the writer said basically, like, look, these are the ideas I came with, and I had to run everything through Pablo Hidalgo, who's on the story group, right? So it goes through him. He knows what the canon is, right? And there are certain liberties that they give with the canon, because it's like, all right, you can, like how everybody's freaking out about the Grand Inquisitor, right? With him getting stabbed or whatever. And even the writer kind of addresses that in certain things too. It's just one of those things, though. When it comes to people were already nervous that Obi-Wan is having so much interaction with Leia to begin with, because it just feels so like we shouldn't be in this territory. Like this is very slippery. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take care of that particular storyline because we know what comes in episode 4. So that's that just like that really bothered me, bro. That bothered me. The other thing that bothered me is we got the cool tie-in with Jedi Fallen Order with him swimming up under the Inquisitorium. But when he got out the water, his suit was dry. Like, like did he use the Force to keep his clothes dry, bro? Like, what was that? Like,
it's like the what was that? Was it the Matrix?
Yeah,
I don't remember where like the water's all over him and he just instantly just turns dry.
Yeah,
he just goes.
Yeah, if it was something
kind of like when he was holding the water back.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He was holding the water back off of himself, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he came out dry. I mean, his hair was straight, everything, bro. That and then old girl Tyler slapping the stormtrooper in the helmet, bro. I was like, okay. But the other thing that got me, Tyler's sitting at the cubicle, right? And she's doing her thing, and she's sitting up here talking on this piece.
And there's a guy like 5 feet away from her.
He just looks over like, who are you talking to? And I'm thinking like, facts. Like you just talking loud. I mean, it was so much stuff in here where it was just like, bro, y'all really reaching to make us just be like, look, y'all, this is Star Wars. Just deal with it. I was just like, oh my gosh. Was there anything that bothered you? Like, why was it only like a 7 or 8 for you?
Well, honestly, I there's something about Riva's acting, and I think it's because of probably the first couple episodes, and she does like the Batman jump off or Matrix, or I mean, it kind of and running across the stuff. I think I don't like her as much as a character. I was okay with this one, so that kind of keeps it down for me a little bit. But one of my things was Darth Vader. When he comes in, because he is pissed, and you can tell he's pissed that Obi-Wan got away. I feel like that moment, like he was holding her up in the air, and she was like, I know where they're going, basically.
Yeah.
It just seemed kind of a little cheesy.
Right, because Vader, if he's going to kill you, he ain't talking to you. He gonna snap your neck.
No, like, he's done with you, and he just goes on, what's going on?
Right. Charles, to answer your question, Vader wasn't on the ship to begin with. Vader was in his castle. So that the Inquisitorium is on the
it's on the water.
I know what's the name of where they fought at? Oh my gosh.
Mustafar.
Yeah, it's on the Mustafar system, but he's not at the Inquisitorium. So once he got there, then he figured out, like, once the sirens and stuff probably went off, I'm sure that sent something to him that something was going on. So he came over, because when he's not Vader, he's in the back of the tank, and so that's exactly where he was.
That's the only way he stays alive.
Yeah, he doesn't get out of that until it's time to show down. So it took him a minute to get dressed and then fly over there, and he knows nothing about Leia, so he wouldn't feel her because he doesn't know anything about her.
And it does, when they were talking, they were like, he is close. They said he's close, meaning like he may be on Mustafar,
whatever. They said he was still on the ship. That's what they said.
Yeah, but he's close, is what they said. So it wasn't. Yeah, he was close enough to get there right before they left.
Right,
is what we're trying to help.
The other thing too was interesting is that the pilot that died, right? Like, why did they give so much like grievance toward this dude when
we had no idea it was?
Yeah, we was all like,
oh, it was Wade. Oh no, who the hell's Wade?
Right. Yeah. That was just like that was yeah.
Don't keep up that level of detail.
Well, I mean, they said it in the show. That's the only reason why I'm saying that, bro. When it was Ice Cube's son that said all of that when he was telling them about the planet. So that's it ain't that level of detail. I just paid attention to the episode. So yeah.
And we are Star Wars fans.
This is true.
We can be pretty anal about that stuff.
Taking apart everything, bro. Like, why the color of his cloak is not the same color. His hair should be gray right now. Why is it so long?
It's only been 10 years.
What did you think about him? The scene of the Bapta tank, like with them
With
both,
Obi-Wan in it.
yeah, they were both at the same time, kind of experiencing it.
Well, I mean, we know that we've heard, well, supposedly there's supposed to be dreams that happen when you're in the Bacta. And so I was trying to figure out force-wise if they were just connecting or
Yeah.
if they were just both having the same experience of like grief and terror that they both went through.
Yeah,
But
still
I
thought it
mean,
was dope.
I like it just because of we know the connection that they have together. We know that both of them were pretty much brothers
Yeah,
at this point. And so still having that connection, or at least seeing them go through the pain together
Mhm.
is I kind of like that.
What was your favorite scene of this episode?
Actually seeing Obi-Wan pull out his lightsaber and do some Jedi stuff that seemed like something that he could do.
Right.
It
Yeah,
wasn't like, oh, how does this work?
yeah. Definitely when he hunted those stormtroopers, when he turned the lights out.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
And you
that was
see
hard.
him. He's
And then where you seen it coming back to him, like when he was blocking the stormtrooper shots, and they even
Yes.
brought one of the troopers from Jedi Fallen Order that was in that metallic uniform when he
Yeah.
drowned.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. I even like that scene a lot too. Like I love them in that water aquarium.
Yeah, actually seeing him floating and dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a normal thing to see either.
Right. That was another thing too. Like, where was the other Inquisitors at when all of this stuff was going on? Like, bro, come on. Like, y'all show up at the most inopportune time. It was just like I said, it was a whole. I mean, we talk about this every Star Wars TV series, the convenience factor of everything, like how things have just
Right.
happened with convenience. But yeah, it was just like,
It's
okay,
kind of Star Wars though.
it is. And I mean, the whole like the whole show feels very Star Wars as far as like we have some pupil and some master that's, I mean, you know, this adult
Right.
that's looking after some cub or something like that. So feels very Star Wars. Just everybody just thought it was going to be Luke and not Leia, but it makes sense if you think about it because Luke should not have ever seen him. So
Right.
yeah.
I think the last thing for me was the disappointment when she's told Vader, I know wherever he goes,
Yeah.
yeah, and then Vader's all like chumming, hey, good job, and then we go to it, and I'm like, I leaned over and I go, it's the robot.
Yeah, they could have just left it with the robot, and not showed it like
Turn red. Overall, though, I like the show. I'm liking the show. Obviously, there's going to be stuff that I have problems with, but overall, I'm liking having Star Wars stuff. We're getting to see some Obi-Wan, even getting to see some young Leia.
Yeah, definitely. Ewan McGregor is the best thing about this, and I even thought Tala. I thought she was great in this episode too. I would love to see more story about her, like how she got to this point. Like I would, even if she was like in the Andor series or something. Like I think her character is very interesting, and I mean, it just this seeing that and how she handled herself with the Imperial officer. I was just like, this is exactly why we need a show that only focuses on the Empire and how these people go to work, so to speak, and you know what they actually think about the Empire and the fear of being in the presence. Like that's where you can have Vader and the Emperor in the background. Like they don't never have to be in focus, but they could be walking in the background and having to deal with the Tarkin character or you know, someone like that. But they actually like show. I just think that would be such a great series to be able to watch.
Yeah, I mean, And we have some Rebel stuff,
Mhm.
obviously, where we have, I don't remember what his name. Um, I want to say Valkyrie, but it doesn't sound right.
You talking about Saul Guerrero?
No, it's not Saul. It's in. We have the Rebels, and he's part of Death Watch. Maybe he's the blonde dude,
Oh, you talking about?
and he ends up being.
Yeah. I know who you talking about. He ends up going to the good side in Rebels. I know who.
Yeah,
I can't. He became friends with. I can't even think of his name now, but I know exactly who
you
you're
know
talking
who
about.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so outside of him, we have not seen other than Finn and Tala. We've never seen anybody that's like, um, I don't want to do this.
Well,
I
you
don't
had
want to be
one
here.
more. You had one more. We had from the Inferno Squadron.
Okay, see, I didn't read that though.
Oh, bro, listen. I remember I told you about Catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
Inferno Squadron is epic, bro. It actually ties into the Battlefront 2 game. So it
Okay.
gives you that level of backstory. So when you're playing the Battlefront game and the events that take place in it, it makes so much sense. But yeah,
Okay.
Inferno Squadron is really good. But yeah, Javina,
Is it the main character?
mhm.
Okay.
Yes, she. I can't think of her name. Like all the Star Wars names is evading me right now. But I'm just
I got
saying
you.
the main character from Inferno Squadron was another a defector. Uh,
Right.
but I get what you're saying. Like
We
it's
we
very few.
we have all these people. Like, I get we're doing. It was more on the line when George was doing it. It was like we're following orders, almost like a Hitler kind of thing. We're just doing what we're told to do.
Right.
But we're actually seeing some of the stuff where we're getting some people that I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to use my position to help
hmm
in this.
And to be honest, I'm sure there were so many more, but so many people got killed behind it too because it's dangerous. Like
Yeah.
you're basically bucking the system. So I'm sure that there's a lot of people that got which is why they always see people that are spies. I mean, we saw what happened, and even with Hux. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
he was one that got killed for it. So yeah,
Right.
it's definitely there, and it would be nice to see that explored, to even like maybe watch some young pilots go through training, and then some people don't make it. You know what I'm saying, because they couldn't pass certain tests, so they get killed, and
Hmm.
it's so much they could do with it, bro. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the story. But
Sure.
before we completely get off of Obi-Wan, so the writer, his name is Joby Harold, and he talks about the importance of keeping Riva mysterious in the series. This comes from the Star Wars News.net, and it basically says the screenwriter has addressed some of the burning questions that people have been asking online, like why Riva is aware of Darth Vader's true identity. And so here's some of the stuff they kind of talk to him about. It says, I won't speak to that, but I will say Riva is a character that I find to be fascinating. Moses Ingram has done an amazing things with her. Hopefully, he isn't answering questions about the last two episodes, and we will finally address it. Star Wars loves mysteries, especially since the Disney era. And while some thought we'd be cutting back to that opening scene each subsequent episode, the show still hasn't acknowledged it again. So, of course, everybody thinks that Riva is one of the younglings in the beginning, and they think that that youngling that was in that tomb room was somebody that she was with as a kid. It says, I love that Riva is the mysterious box, so I try to speak to her. I try to speak to her as little as possible, but I'm going to keep it that way. But the notion of having a character that we don't know on a legacy show where we do know everything and everybody is part of the fun of the show. So the less said about her, the better, considering that there are very few people in places where you don't know what's happening. And then, of course, they kind of get into the Grand Inquisitor, wanting to know basically, if we see this Inquisitor and he gets stabbed thinking that he's dead, but at the same time, we know that he's in Rebels. And so people are asking, is this the same Inquisitor, or is this a new Inquisitor, or whatever the case may be? He said, I know there's
Mhm.
speculation about that, but I won't speak to that beyond saying that Rupert is a champ for the way he portrayed the character. I love the rhythm that he brings, and the voice and the physicality. He looks like a tank, but he speaks with such lyricism. So the juxtaposition is unique and interesting, that he's not thin, the school teachery creepy guy. So I love what he did with the character. So he just basically said that, look, we would never break canon. So that pretty much should give you the insight that either this is a completely different Grand Inquisitor, or this that he's not dead. So that's basically what he's saying.
So have you heard? I don't know if y'all talked about this last week about that part of it. Some of the ideas of how this happened, like how we would still have that same guy.
Well, I know that the species of him, they have two stomachs. So if he would have got stabbed in the stomach, you could put him in the back of the tank, and he should be straight. Or you could even mod him out like how they did for Fennec Shan. So there's ways that they can bring him back. We never saw a body. We don't know what happened, but it's crazy because they all sounded like they left him there. So
Yeah.
And then Vader could care less about any of them anyway. So they just do his bidding. So I don't know. I think he's probably going to be the one to kill Riva. I don't think Vader is. I think the reason why he didn't kill her to begin with, because we even said that Vader just be snapping necks. He don't really give you the opportunity to explain anything. Yep. I think the reason why we even got that far is because of the fact that there is a connection between them two. Like, I really believe that in the scene that we saw, that she saw Anakin, I think we're going to get that flashback where she sees Anakin and knows that that's Vader. I think that's what I think.
So so here's my question to you then. Why? Because we saw Vader, and we know right now he is basically a rage monster, which we don't see like later on. It's not as maybe it's just not as fresh with him. I don't know. Like, he does kill people, but it's not like he's walking down the road and just snapping necks and crushing people. Like, we haven't seen that until now. So what would hold him so much with her, do you think? Or do you think there's an actual Anakin connection other than she saw him?
What I'm saying is, I think that during her escape, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. Anakin was in there killing people, but he wasn't the only person. We saw the stormtroopers in there shooting kids down and shooting masters down. So I think just like how we in Fallen Order, right? Cal Kestis was able to escape. I think she was one of those that escaped. And then when they captured these force sensitive people, if you don't turn to become an Inquisitor or turn to the dark side, then you're executed, which is why I think that the kid that was in there, the reason why they showed that is that's probably the kid also from the beginning, and he chose not to defect. So I'm thinking that she might, on her way of exiting, she saw that it was Anakin that was actually slaying people. So, and that's Vader. And so when she's now an Inquisitor, then it's Vader. So it's like, okay, well, I knew that was Anakin, and now his name is Vader. That's how I know that that's who that is.
Right. But at the beginning, though, even the Grand Inquisitor says to her, "You came to us." It wasn't even that they actually captured her in this.
Right. But that could be her sting that she has towards Kenobi. Why she wants Kenobi so bad is because maybe she thought Kenobi should have saved them, and he didn't. He abandoned her, which is why she chose to go to the dark side, because she felt abandoned. I think, like I said, her story is not going to be a mystery for long.
Right.
But I think as we get the stuff and details about her character, then she's out of here. I mean, unless they're going to just squeeze her out, because we should be getting to season 2 now.
Right.
I just think
they're already made, though. It's not like they're going to rework the last 2 episodes, though.
They're not, but I also think that they knew going into this that this was going to be a success. I think they got
a backup plan to it.
100%. I think that before we even got the series that they already greenlit season 2. It's kind of like how we haven't even seen Andor, haven't seen one episode. We didn't even
Right.
at the time we hadn't even seen a trailer, but they were
Right.
like, "Nah, we got season 2 already. We start shooting in November." Like
Right.
that. This is a little bit different level show because Andor we have no real anticipation for because we only know of the character through Rogue One. He's not a legacy character. It's somebody we kind of just, grew to like, and then we knew we were getting this James Bond show in Star Wars. Whereas Kenobi, that's a little bit different. All you got to do is say, yo, we getting a Yoda series, we getting a Vader series, we getting a Kenobi series, we getting a young Luke series. You don't care about nothing but the fact that those are the legacy characters.
Well, we know though that we don't know really how this is going to end, but for the next 2 episodes, anyways.
Yeah.
But so we have the Mandalorian, and the Mandalorian. The premise of the show is we've been following Mando for a while, but we started going off on these one-offs almost, following some of the other characters. Do you think they would do that with Kenobi? Because we don't even know if McGregor is. It might have been okay. I'm doing Kenobi. Okay, you're going to do a season 2. Well, I guess I could jump in every once in a while.
I think he's on board. The thing is that for one, we would never know what his contract is outlined.
Right.
And the thing is, he wanted to be here. He already said he wants to play the character again. At this point, Kathleen Kennedy is to a point that she's like, listen, right now we're focused on TV because we get the opportunity to play in the sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that whatever they need from him, he's gonna do. Even like you said, even if he has to come in and do a guest spot on Andor or come and do a guest, like whatever they need him for, I think he's on board. He loves the character. Hayden Christensen loves the character. So at this point, I just think that, because obviously we should see Anakin and Ahsoka. We might even see Obi-Wan and Ahsoka because they could do a whole Clone Wars flashback. So,
which would be pretty dang cool because we have not seen Snips a part of that.
Right. And we haven't seen Hayden outside of the one, fuzzy scene for
where he turns around for a second. Yeah.
That's it. And so why did you bring him back for just that? So, I definitely think he's on board.
Yeah, I would like to see Christensen a little more because it does seem like, okay, other than his turnaround, there's no dialogue.
Right.
And the dialogue that there is there, it's not going to be Christensen.
No, it's straight. It's all James Earl Jones computer generated voice. So
are we going to see more flashbacks in the next 2 episodes? Is that why he's in it? Because that would be the only reason that you would actually have him there. Because anybody could be in that suit.
Yeah, and they do have stunt doubles in the suit.
Yeah, they have 2 other guys.
Yeah, kind of like how they do Mando. So
yeah,
I think most of the stuff that Hayden Christensen did was the tank scenes. Like I think that, and then of course we saw that, and of course, like I said, we don't know what's coming next, and I do think we're gonna get something because there's got to be a Liam Neeson sighting soon.
Yeah, because he's been trying to talk to him. And we've all been waiting for that because that's the last thing Yoda told him.
Yeah. And to be honest, as much as I love Leia, I'm ready to get her back to Alderaan. Like, okay, we get it. She's cute and she's an incredible actress. But yeah, let's get her back to Alderaan so we can let's tighten up this story. And then you introduce brand new characters like in the 4th episode. So it's really weird.
Okay, so you're bringing up one more thing that I've been having a little bit of a problem with is that, okay, so we had your first episode. They kidnapped Leia because there was a connection in the archives of Kenobi and
Bail Organa.
Yeah. Okay, so she can't ever go back. Obviously that connection's there. We know that if we want Obi-Wan to come out, we're gonna attack this family, right? Because they don't go into hiding until it's still
Well,
ways
it
away.
all depends on what. So it's all going to depend on what happens in these next couple of episodes. We don't, because obviously, like we know, Seventh Brother, Grand Inquisitor are in
In
Rebels,
Rebels, yeah.
but the female, that other female Inquisitor, I don't know what happens to her. And then Riva, we don't see her again. So the thing is that whatever happens to the tracker, like if they get it back to the base where they're going, and then they find out the tracker is in there, and then they have to move operations or whatever. So once that's done, then you know it, because yes, Leia did say, "Oh, I'm," because they just said she's a senator's daughter. They never said like Bail Organa of, yeah, and so of Alderaan. So now
Right.
Leia did say, "I'm the princess of Alderaan," but who knows if Riva was even paying attention because she was trying to get stuff out of. But with the other thing though,
Right.
is Riva knows she's force sensitive.
Yeah.
So
When she
that's
was blocking her out.
right.
Yes. Mm,
Now, that doesn't mean that like, oh, this is your kid, because again, Vader thinks that his kid died with Padme
right.
and doesn't
At
know that
birth.
he had twins. So she
Yeah.
just looks at her like, oh, you're just another force sensitive kid that we would do something about. So
Well, even in A New Hope, when they go to Alderaan to blow it up, and it's like, okay, give us the plans, or we're blowing this place up. It's kind of that too. It's like, okay, Vader already he knows that there's a kid. I don't know if they ever said Leia to Vader or not.
no, because I mean he meets her, but again, they never said any. The Inquisitors have, because I don't even think the other Inquisitors know her name, right? They just know that you captured the kid of a senator. The other thing too
Right.
that we got to remember is that up until then, they are supposedly on the same side. The senators and the Inquisitors or whatever. Like it's like an Inquisitor program. As far as
Mhm.
they know, Palpatine is still the chief of everybody, and so they're all on the same side. They're just doing rebel stuff on the side. So nothing really changes. So that's why I don't think it's really a threat as far as like if her going back, that they're just going to attack Alderaan or something like that. Because again,
Right.
Vader and the other Inquisitors don't really know what's going on, because Riva is doing her own stuff. So if once she dies, they safe, because they don't know where she got him, where Riva got Leia from. They don't know who
Right.
she is. They've never seen Leia. Uh, Vader doesn't know anything about Leia.
The
So
guy that captured Leia is dead because
right,
the Green Inquisitor killed him.
right. So yeah, there, as long as Riva dies, or if she turns to the good side or whatever, then we're not going to have anything to worry about. Everything's protected. And I'm sure that I will give Pablo Hidalgo that he's not going to let that break canon.
Yeah. Okay, so Riva,
Mhm.
what do you think the plan is for her for the last 2 episodes? What are we going to get? And then I'll tell you I can tell you mine, and then you can think about it for a second.
I think that she's gonna somehow turn. I think she's gonna turn. Like
100%.
I just, they're setting it up. Like there's too secretive about stuff.
Yeah. And it's almost like the mentality of when like somebody pushes so hard that they hate something so bad, but when really deep down they don't.
Well, if you look at when she saw the path, right, and she even cut out the piece of the wall when she showed Leia, something triggered her right there.
It did. Yeah.
And so yeah, she's still doing all these heinous acts, but with Star Wars at this point, if Anakin can kill kids and then we still accept him back, uh I don't see whatever she's done as like, like, oh, we ain't gonna accept her back. Like it just
Right.
doesn't, like they just worried about, it's almost like, Christianity, like, bro, all the sins you did is forgiven if once you give your life. So it's like it's the same
Right.
concept, really.
Gotcha. I can see that. But yeah, I'm totally thinking there's going to be a turn somewhere, and it's going to. I mean, it's going to be. It won't. I think it would have to be at the beginning of the last episode or the end. We get something that flips of the next episode, episode 5.
But I do think she's gonna get Ben soloed though. I think once she turns, she's gonna die. Like I don't think that
You don't think she's going to live?
I don't think so. I don't know. Like it's interesting.
Sacrifices herself?
I don't think sacrifices herself. I just think the Grand Inquisitor is gonna have the last laugh.
Okay.
But at the same time, like I said, with the speculation of a season 2, did you kill this character off in season 1 or give that payoff for season 2? Like give her a minute to like be with Obi-Wan. I just like it's a mystery. I really do think she's gonna turn, but at the same time, it's hard. So
I think the only way she doesn't die and you get more payoff for her later would be if they already planned that as the backup. Like whatever this is, they're able to either have her in a back to tank, which we've been doing a lot of that though.
mm-hmm.
We did that with Boba Fett. He got in the back to tank. He's fine. Cobb Vanth, back to tank. He's fine. He's going to be worked on some, but I mean, I would hate for it to end that way because we've had so many that way though.
Yeah, and that's again, but
we're using it a little too much.
We are, but it's this, but it's the same trope with the kid, the cub and the master. It's like we use that on every single one of these. So it's just like, what's another turn to the good side? Like it's just like womp womp. So yeah, people are speculating. It's just too much mystery surrounding her character for us not to get the switch. Yeah.
Sorry, I mean to mute that. Well, overall, I'm good with Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I am too. I'm still here. I think the only other big thing about the episode that was a little disappointing, the episode was about 30 minutes, bro.
Yeah, it was kind of short.
Yeah. But it was great to see him hit the Obi-Wan pose, and
yes,
it was good to see him with a saber in his hand. So
seeing the deflection and things that you expected Anakin to be good at, or Obi-Wan to be good at that point.
Right.
Not pathetic.
Right.
But
that's
okay. Well, I'm excited for the next episode, see where we're going with that. Obviously, there's a ton more stuff coming out. I know that I'm taking the kids to see Jurassic World Dominion. Hopefully, everybody's been saying it's a letdown, so I'm hoping it's not a letdown.
Yeah.
I'm hoping not.
Did you like the second one?
A little bit more than the first, probably.
Only thing I didn't like about the second one, and I'm talking about the second one of the new trilogy, like the
Jurassic World ones. Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about it was her being a clone. That right there, I was like, oh, okay, all right. That was the only thing. Other than that, I was fine with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it actually coming back to like the United States and getting loose.
Yeah,
because we've always heard life finds a way, and we finally actually get it where they're having babies, and it's not just somewhere way far away that everybody can escape from.
Nope, it's right there in your backyard.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for this one, is that we're gonna get some of that finality of, okay, this is what it actually looks like.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I hear you. I still ain't seen Top Gun yet, so I got to see that first, bro.
I still haven't seen that one. My wife and a couple of my kids have.
Yeah.
They loved it, but my wife loves Tom Cruise. So
that's why she likes Craig.
Yeah. He looks a lot like Tom Cruise.
Right. I told him that too. I told him that. I was at a book signing with him, and I said, Pastor Craig, I heard a rumor about you. I said, I heard Tom Cruise is up here signing books with your wife. He said, oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Love you. I'm glad you're here with me.
Absolutely.
I'm here
bro.
with you.
Great show, bro.
And everybody out there, thanks for being with us. We are the Marauders. I'm going to let you do yours, actually. Yeah. I was hoping you were going to do it.
I was just waiting for the outro.
We're here every Thursday, 7:30.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
We're out.